So you have a itinerary and you love overlanding. You have plans to do it big on the trails and some super glamping. One ideas, deep news and reviews, a podcast the first rate and here just for you. You don't have to think about it, join us and be about it. Something interesting we want to hear about it, come on let's talk about it. Welcome to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints podcast.
Sponsored by Midland, communication for every adventure. The industry leader in radio communication technology and innovation for over 50 years. Sponsored by MyMedic. Sponsored by Tembo Tusk. Sponsored by Shower Pouch. Sponsored by DeMoss Collective, mission built and made for mobility. Sponsored by BrewTrek. Sponsored by Hard Impact Designs.
Always remember, the opinion you follow should be your own. Just consider the things stated here to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online.
Hey guys, we have a special guest, Shaun from the Story Till Now. Shaun makes movies that tell the story of his off-road adventures to include camping, snow wheeling, overlanding, and Jeep action across North America. It's just not the stories he tells. Shaun is an excellent videographer who creatively shows us spectacular, stunningly beautiful backdrops in his adventures. Voted guy I would love to have a beer and go on a trail with. Shaun, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Phil. Happy to be here at the coffee bar at the Xoverland Ranch.
And we're not making coffee yet, but we're thinking about it.
We're thinking about hijacking the coffee machine.
So before this thing goes completely off the rails, let's get a couple of things out of the way. We've had a day and a half here at the Xoverland Overland Ranch. What do you think, Shaun?
It's a beautiful property, beautiful facility. Particularly this building here, the roadhouse that we're in, they did a really amazing job fixing it up. It's nice. I'm having a good time. I went wheeling in the Trailhunter Tacoma this morning. Did some rock crawling. Cool truck. Yeah. Apparently, not many people have driven those yet. So.
And the view from the top of the property up there is amazing.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's crazy.
So yeah, cool. I'm super stoked to be here. Glad they threw us some invites, and here we are.
Thanks to Rachel and to Clay. We're excited.
It's a great place. So, Shaun, let's start from the beginning. Tell us where you were born and raised.
Born and raised in a town called Maple Ridge, just about an hour east of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And that's where I still live.
I have noticed from seeing you at quite a few events now, you have a crazy crowd that follows you. They definitely loyal. What do you think about that, the reactions that you get at these events?
I'm just super grateful, and I like meeting people and getting to talk to people. You know, you talk to people in YouTube comments and stuff, but meeting people face to face and putting a face to the names and actually getting to form relationships with those people is it's the main reason to come to the events.
I agree.
It's kind of why we're probably all sitting here, right? Because we know a lot of the people here. But you get to meet new people and hang out, and it's
all the events for me. It's a social gathering first and foremost.
Exactly. Yeah.
So this is to both you guys. What has been the highlight so far? For me, it was the s'mores.
The s'mores were really good.
Phil's thinking with his stomach again.
No, not just the s'mores, but the s'mores event at the hub. I thought that was excellent.
Getting to chat with everybody, and it was a really nice little gathering.
Get together. Yeah, I mean, even last night we did a little dinner here, and my highlight right now. I mean, this is not the highlight of the event, but is that we're doing a podcast inside an air-conditioned, beautiful building. Because let me tell you, it's hot out there.
Definitely hot.
Super hot.
Yeah. So we might just stay here all afternoon.
I'm going to drink some water.
Yeah.
What's your highlight so far, Phil?
The s'mores hub at the hub.
Right. You said that already. Mm-hmm. My bad.
And I'd say the second was the trail ride for the view. I got a chance to I'm a Jeep guy too, so I'm not into too many Toyotas, so I got a chance to experience some Toyotas.
What do you think?
About the Toyotas?
Yeah, which one? Did you drive the Trail Hunter?
Well, the one that I actually liked, they didn't have on the trail. That new Sequoia, they have one called the Capstone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So which we got a ride from both directions last night to the happy hour thing. In that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We were all together.
That's right. That was nice.
Yeah, that was nice. It's a pretty far walk.
I'm not used to. Well, speaking of which, this is like a I don't know if it's 400 or 500 acre ranch, but it's big.
500, yeah.
500
It's
acre
huge.
ranch. It's ginormous. So just getting around here, you almost need to have a car. But my thing on the so for me from a big truck perspective, the Tacoma that we were in seemed tiny to me.
Yes. Yes.
Right? And my background is Jeeps too, like Jeeps and Land Rovers, which are not big, but I felt like the Tacoma was even smaller.
Yeah, the Tacoma, especially the back seat, 0 leg room.
I didn't try the back seat, but I have a different opinion. Actually, I found that the leg room in the Tacoma was much better than in the Jeep.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought it was more comfortable, to be
Oh
honest.
yeah, well comparing it to the Jeep, everybody's got more leg room in the back.
See, I don't notice that, but okay. Anyways, we're digressing. We
Yeah.
can't talk politics like he's Canadian.
Well, you know what? I was not going to talk politics.
Oh boy.
But I have a question for
kidding.
you. How long have you been across the border?
I've been like 2 days.
2 days. So, have you recognized anything different about the environment? Because you were also here a few weeks
Really
ago for
hot.
Yeah, but it was really hot in Vancouver too.
I mean, I don't know. What are we talking about? Because of the assassination attempt?
assassination.
I didn't particularly notice anything different myself, but I was just sitting in my Jeep the whole way here. So
I was just trying to get a viewpoint from a non-American.
yeah, well, it's crazy that happened.
Do you guys pay attention to our politics?
For sure, because I mean, in a way, U.S. politics affect Canada more than Canadian politics does. Because on a worldwide scale, I mean, because
Sure.
nobody cares what Canada does. Like, let's be honest, right? But everyone
That's
cares
a good thing,
You know, we
though.
get kind
I
of
mean, by
lumped
the way.
together with the U.S. and we're kind of dependent on the U.S. for protection as well because we barely have a military. So,
Yeah.
Mike,
Mike,
Yeah, that's me. I got a mic.
what are your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts.
I'll handle this, Phil. What are your thoughts, Mike?
Oh, you're asking me my thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this on our last podcast. I mean, obviously, it's a sad day when we can't just agree to disagree and have different viewpoints and talk about it. That's my big thing on this whole thing. Like, you know, getting to violence or getting to just the polarizing nature of the U.S. is really difficult. And I think that's where maybe Phil was going, asking a Canadian or somebody that's not an American what their viewpoint is on our crazy, divisive.
Well, I'm just going to be straight with you guys.
Yeah,
the
there you go.
politics
Yes.
are kind of crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's kind of
nuts.
how we look at it. Like, it's kind of a team sport down here, you know?
Yeah,
In Canada, we're just
exactly.
kind of like, oh man, our guy didn't win. Bummer. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah, and that's how we should be.
Here, you're like, oh, let's go shoot the opposition.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
like-
right.
Not everybody, obviously.
No,
but, you know,
but-
it's very intense.
You know, I told this story before. We was down in Mexico all winter, and a guy was like at a bar was asking me, "Hey, Mike, what's the deal with your politics up there? You know, you got two guys running for president. They're both like 80 years old, and they're crazy guys." And I was like, "Hey, I can't explain it. I don't know."
It's just how it works down
Yeah,
here.
exactly. And there's Rachel right there. No, you can come on in. I mean,
How's
it's
it
your
going?
place.
All right, guys, we're in the middle of our podcast, and the host of this event
That's
just
right.
walked in. So
Hey,
got a
have
big
you ever had a
cameo?
podcast at the coffee bar though?
grab a
No,
mic.
see, it's amazing.
I've not had a podcast at the coffee bar.
Me either. I've never even done a
This is the
podcast
first.
like in
Really?
person with people.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
I just walked in, but I think you're doing great.
Thanks. I appreciate
That's
that.
awesome.
Well,
Absolutely.
before you came in, we were discussing your event, and we've all graded it very highly.
Okay. I'm a little nervous.
Is there
How
something?
many acres is this?
504.
Okay, so we solved that problem. We were like, we heard 400, we heard 500, we've heard different numbers.
I
So
told you it was
504.
504, yep.
Wow.
That's the number.
So while we got you on the mic, just a real basic, simple question: where did this start in you guys' mind? Did you see the land first, or did you have the idea first? How did this come about?
Great question. So we actually had the idea first. It was about, let's see, January of 2023. We were kind of doing our vision forecast for the next 3 to 5 years of Xoverland and where we were seeing our company going, what we wanted to do, what was next. And Clay just had this vision of, we need a physical space. We want to create a physical space. So many people know about overlanding. They've now been keyed in by YouTubers or just inspired by people going out and doing it. They've seen it on the screen. How can we get them to a physical space where we can do hands-on training and continue that education and provide a place where people can come in, kind of dip their toes in the water, get different levels of training, and then go out further into the world.
How much work did you have to put in on this location? I know it was something prior to similar. How much work did you have to put in to get it how it is today?
So all of the buildings were here and the land was here, but this was previously a wedding venue. So
And now it's very different.
it is very different.
Way cooler now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll have to dig up some before pictures for you guys, but
Yeah.
the space that you're in right now, the walls were lime green, blue, purple. It was,
Wow.
they had lots of like antiques around the walls, and all of the counters, all the kitchen has been completely redone.
Which, by the way, is the coolest thing. I saw earlier when they opened up that, I go, wow, that's a refrigerator.
Right? So yeah, we completely came in, gutted this place, stripped up all the floors, did concrete. This room behind me here was the bridal suite. So it was bright pink, like a salmon pink, had like a hair wash salon sink in it, and that's where all the brides and the bridesmaids would get ready. So now it's completely different.
Yeah.
Well, the aesthetic of this place is super cool.
Thank you.
This looks like a place, if Hemingway were alive, he would want to hang out at.
Love it. Yeah, it was really Clay, and one of my best friends, Nikki. She's an incredible designer.
That's
And
handy.
Yes,
Yeah.
very handy. She doesn't do it professionally. She only will do it for friends.
Oh, okay.
And so between her and Clay, he would give crazy visions and ideas, and she would figure out how to make all this work and tie together. And there's still more, obviously, we want to do, but we've gotten it pretty close to where we want.
Well, we know you're busy, but we appreciate you coming over and giving us a few minutes of your time. And once again, we are ecstatic to be here.
Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you guys. We know it
Yeah.
was really short notice. We just wanted to do something, so we appreciate all of you.
It worked out
taking
great.
time out.
Love it. Love the area. It's
Perfect.
great being with you guys.
Can't wait to have you back. Let's
Yeah,
do more
we're
stuff, right?
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I don't want to interrupt you any
Yep,
further.
that's
so
fine.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Stealing my thunder. I'm supposed to be the guest.
Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, bye. Sean was awesome.
A little plug there.
All right.
I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, we were talking about politics or something. I don't know. We were all over the place.
So, I mean, Canadian politics is just better.
Agreed.
It's friendlier. Well, it's not recently. I don't want to talk about politics.
No. Let's talk about.
I try to avoid that topic altogether.
Yeah. We so it's funny. We I don't know where did that start? Oh, it started on our podcast. We don't normally talk about politics either. We kind of try to stick to overlanding, outdoor travel. And then we realized, I don't know how many episodes ago this was, that unfortunately, politics affects our world of overlanding. Any way you look at it. Whether it's trail
Definitely.
closures or environmental concerns or just, even for myself, like traveling internationally, depending on what country you're going to, how you can ship vehicles potentially overseas.
It's a really good point.
The cost of fuel, like everything. It's crazy.
I think in Canada and British Columbia, which is more like, provincial politics and stuff like that, I've definitely had some experiences with, dealing with where different governments have different ideas about environmental issues and whatnot. And that does affect our, trail closures and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I have lots of opinions about that.
Well, tell us. I mean,
I don't like it.
yeah. I mean,
That's,
who does,
yeah.
right? I mean, no.
Sorry, I shouldn't say lots of opinions. I have a strong opinion that I think politics should keep out of our hobby.
I agree.
So is it similar there as in America where there seems to be a push toward getting us off the trails, getting us out of the woods?
I mean, in a larger sense, I think so. Like, I don't know. It's really hard to tell, to be honest. There are some people that have that theory that eventually they're just going to close all backcountry access to everybody. But I think that leans a little bit towards a conspiracy theory myself. But on the other hand, there is like, I look at situations like the growing amount of wildfires, right?
Yeah.
As a situation where, you know, eventually maybe they see us traveling in the backcountry as something that doesn't help that, right?
Yeah, right. It's a threat.
It's unnecessary-
You potentially could start a
unnecessary risk is
fire
the
or
words I'm looking
unnecessary risk, right?
Yeah, so I could see a situation where the backcountry is shut down for the summer.
See, I think
stuff
this
like that,
one of
you
the
know?
differences, though, probably in Canada is that you have a lot less population and a lot more land.
That's right.
I mean, when you get 30 miles from the U.S. border, I mean, having traveled, I've been through like every province in Canada, and it's like, I tell people, Canada is probably the most remote country I've ever been to.
Yeah, well, there's the amount of people per square kilometer or whatever is not a lot.
It's not a lot.
We got a lot more just land everywhere,
Yeah,
but a lot more to explore.
that's true. But a lot of challenges getting places, though, too. You know, because a lot of the interior of Canada is pretty remote.
Yeah, it's long distances.
Yeah.
So, but that's the kind of stuff we love.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What's your, as a YouTuber,
Yeah.
where do you think that's going?
I hope it continues to just go. Bigger, better, more. All
What
the time.
surprises do you have? Like, what's up your sleeve? What are you thinking about doing?
You know what? I don't plan that far ahead.
Fair.
It's very, when you're putting out a video every week for 3.5 years or whatever, four, I don't even know anymore, but you can't plan too far in advance because you just don't have time to plan, or you don't know what you're going to be doing leading up to that, or I don't know. I'm very much like, I know what I'm doing, unless it's a big trip where, like, for example, the Arctic trip I just did was planned out 3 or 4 months in advance, but that was partially because I was doing it with Brad from Trail Recon, and he's much more of a planner than I am. So he already kind of had that planned out, and it's just like, hey, what do you think about this? Yep, let's do it.
Yep.
So, yeah, for me, I could be like, hey, if I was going to do that trip, might be, I think I'm going to do that in 2 weeks, or something like that.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
But when other people are involved, there's more planning.
So a multi-parter here for you. Have you always been a Jeep guy? What made you
Yes.
choose the Jeep vehicle, and what's kept you in the Jeep?
Okay, this one's easy.
Yeah.
So yes, I've been a Jeep guy since I got into off-roading. It was my first off-road vehicle was a 99 Jeep Cherokee, 2-door manual, 31s. Somebody had rolled it before, flopped it, and one side was all caved in.
Yep.
But I got it because I was going camping in the backcountry all the time in my Mazda Miata. And
Perfect vehicle.
yeah,
Perfect.
I was that guy. You see on the trail, like, that guy's got no business being out here. That was me. So I had to get something else. So I bought like the cheapest off-road vehicle I could find. And then I got into, I was like, what else can I do with this? Got into, Anyway, so I've just gotten better and better Jeeps as time have gone on. And I've stuck with Jeeps because I consider them to be the best off-road vehicle that there is. But it's also all that I know. So I know how to fix
Yep.
the basics. I'm not like a mechanic, but, I can fix, U-joints and axle shafts and, the basic stuff, right? So, and I just kind of fell in love with the Jeep Gladiator when they announced it. I was like, that is going to look cool on 37s. And so I got one and had one of the first ones on 37s.
Nice.
And here we are.
Now, anybody listening or watching that doesn't know about you, I think the cinematography on your videos is exceptional. It's a huge draw for me.
Thank you.
Were you dabbling in video prior to this?
My whole life, it's just been a hobby.
Okay.
So I've never had any formal training, although I did do some volunteer work at our local TV station as a teenager where I picked up some, framing of shots and lighting and that kind of stuff. Not that we use any lighting for what we do, but yeah, I learned a little bit about production stuff.
So for you, maybe this is a tough question, but is your love more towards the Jeep or the travel part of it, or the filming videography?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. So a lot of people are taken aback or surprised when I say this, but I'm definitely more of a filmmaker, I'd say, than I am an off-roader. But I love them both equally, and I'm an adventurer at heart. So I've basically just combined the things that I love. But what I always wanted to do ever since I was young was be a filmmaker. So
I think that comes through. I like to say, like, it's the vehicle is sort of a tool, right? It's a tool to.
I also like to say that.
Yeah.
So let's go down this wormhole. If I could snap my finger like Thanos and bring you back to the beginning again, and you could be part of any kind of filmmaking that you desired, what direction would you go?
What I always wanted to do was make like scripted films or documentaries, like that, like theatrical type of movies. So I mean, if I had an opportunity to do something like that, I would totally jump at it. If that opportunity had presented itself, then I would have taken it. What happened for me was I just kind of found a way to get as close as possible to that by taking what I'm doing and making something that's as close as possible to a movie. So I think that's kind of where my kind of style came from. Is I'm not trying to just film like my adventures, I'm trying to make a movie out of them.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think kind of comes through.
Yep.
Do you have any movies that you've watched over the years that stand out to you, that you always go back to? Or
my favorite movie is Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the best movie about marriage ever made.
That is it's pretty funny.
Husband and wife
movie,
try to kill they're both
Yeah.
assassins and try to kill each other.
Yeah.
I just thought it was brilliant.
That is pretty brilliant.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. There's lots.
Have you seen the new TV series that they have?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's fantastic.
That's funny.
Have you seen
Have
it?
you watched? Yeah, I love it.
It's great, right?
And the new one, they went in a different direction.
Totally different.
But it was intelligent.
Yeah, it was great, and the characters were so good, and this had me on the edge of my seat. I'm just wondering what was going to happen next. I watched the whole thing in 1 or 2 days.
Same here.
That's the best way.
Yeah, and except then it's over really fast.
Yeah, right. I'm excited about tonight. We're supposed to get a debut of a movie basically from these guys, right? Isn't that the twist tonight?
the Greenland.
The Greenland. That's
Greenland
right.
trip that
Yes.
they did a few years ago. So yeah, I'm excited to see that too. I have no idea what it's going to be like.
Nope,
but
me neither.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be quality.
I'm guaranteed that.
What's your connection with the expedition Overland?
I mean, other than just we're all part of the same community, not much. I've only met Clay and Rachelle a couple of times at expos, just briefly said hi, and I mean, I did submit a film to the film festival they did, the Overland Film Festival. The first, I don't think the second one actually happened, but they were going to do another one. I don't think it happened. I don't know.
But you were aware of them. You watched them, and
Oh yeah. I was watching them back when they first started. I was watching pretty much any off-road adventure content that I could get my hands on. A lot of ultimate adventure videos, which is more,
I remember
wheeling stuff.
particularly the South American one. I remember watching that, like back in the day. I say back in the day, it wasn't that long ago, I don't think, right?
I don't even know how long ago it was. Was
Maybe
it like
6 years, 8 years?
No, I think it's more than that.
Was it more than that?
Yeah,
Could be.
Dude, it was a long
Dating
time
ourselves
ago.
here.
No, I remember watching like the original one. I just kind of stumbled across it. I don't even remember how I found it, and I was just like, okay, like this is good.
Yeah.
So yeah, other than that, like other than just watching it like everyone else, I don't have a whole lot of connection other than we both make
I think I already
adventure
have an
videos.
idea of the answer to this, but I'd rather hear you tell me. What's your favorite trail or landscape to wheel? Do you like mountains or do you like desert?
Definitely mountains. I like the really scenic stuff like alpine, shelf roads, blue lakes, snow-capped peaks. That kind of stuff is kind of my bread and butter.
Okay.
What about you?
Same identical what you just said. Mountains, alpine lakes.
Yeah, it's the good stuff.
Yeah, I live in Issaquah, Washington. I'm almost right over the border from you, so we have some similar terrain. Yours
similar
is a little
terrain.
more rugged than ours.
My favorite is the stuff that's hard to get to, like that not many people go to. So you're getting out there and either cutting your way through a trail or smashing your truck through the trail to get somewhere that's maybe been kind of forgotten about
Yeah,
or is
abandoned
so remote and so high elevation that there's just no reason to go there except for crazy people like us.
Well, that's how I found you. Was years ago. I just, they'll recommend somebody to you, and it was this pretty picture of your vehicle like in some water, and I was like, yeah, let me check this out. I didn't have high expectations, but 2 minutes in, I was like, whoa.
Nice.
That's
Doing my job.
And there's the magic of YouTube and the importance
holes.
of the thumbnail.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
I guess that's like the whole YouTube game, right? Is you want people to click on it and want to watch the whole thing.
Sure.
Well, compliment to you. I've seen that, done that. So it's kind of hard to get a whoa out of me. It's not too many people's videos where they're doing something that I'm impressed.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate that.
So what are your plans in the future? I know you said you don't plan, but you don't have like a bucket list of some places that maybe you haven't started the plans, but you have them in your head.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too specific, but I do want to do some international trips, like shipping my truck somewhere. I'd love to go to Australia. Just check out some of the stuff over there, like stuff that the 4-wheel drive 24/7 guys do, those kind of trails. Other than that, like, I don't think too far ahead. I kind of have like broad strokes. Like I want to ship my truck somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like one of the next things to try and do but I also feel like, British Columbia and that kind of environment is sort of what people tune in for. It's like it's kind of a character in the show.
Let's talk about that for a second, because you bring that. We've talked about that with other creators out there, for sure. Do you ever feel like you're pigeonholed, meaning like you have to produce a content within a realm?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
Like God forbid you're gonna.
And a lot of times I'll just ignore that and do what I want anyway, because otherwise you feel creatively stifled, right?
Right.
But people are very vocal about what they like and what they don't like.
Yes.
And I'm the kind of person that likes to experiment and try new things. And a lot of times I'll fall flat on my face doing that. But if you don't do that, you can't grow as a creator, right? So sometimes you got to throw caution to the wind and be like, hey, this week we're going out on jet skis. And then nobody watches.
Yeah.
So we got one of the top dogs on the show. I got to ask you stuff that they want to know.
What do they want to know?
I'm a new guy. I'm thinking about buying a vehicle. I'm thinking about getting a Jeep.
Good choice.
Give me the first 3 things I should do with my Jeep.
The first 3 things you should do with your Jeep.
Meaning that, I think we've
You mean
talked
like
about
modifications or like what should you do in it?
A Jeep probably is the best, in my opinion anyways, is probably the best vehicle, most capable vehicle out of the showroom stock.
100%.
Right?
Yeah. A Jeep Rubicon, you can do almost anything.
Absolutely. So what would be the first 3 things that you might do to it, if I'm a newbie and I don't know any better, that would improve it or improve my experience with it?
Sure, improve your experience with it. Well, I mean, if you're going off-road, you got to have a winch. So probably like especially if you're going out by yourself, which you probably shouldn't be if you're just starting out, just buy your Jeep. But okay, I'm going to say join a local club and go on some group runs, because that's what I did, and that's how I met people to go off-roading with. And everything that I do now is all because I joined a club and met some friends, and we went out wheeling.
Yep.
And that's how I learned everything I know. So that'd be my number one thing: join a club and go out with some more experienced people, and they can show you places to go and stuff like that. Too, like get some recovery gear or winch, whatever recovery gear stuff you might need, and so that you can self-recover or rescue your buddies when you go out. And what else? Number 3, I'm gonna say, if we're past that point, maybe look at some better tires, because tires I don't know, but like
people don't realize how important tires are.
Tires are super important, but the tires that come on like a Rubicon now are like really
not
good.
bad. Yeah,
like
not
you
bad.
You can do a lot with those. So maybe I don't know, maybe not tires, but maybe a suspension lift. I don't know.
So Shaun, we have interviewed a bunch of people, and we pretty much ask that question or similar questions all the time. and you have kept us at 100%. You didn't give us some outrageous 3 things to do. It was pretty much some simple things, and one of them wasn't even buy something. It was join.
Yeah.
So that was joining meant go out there and do it. So you
Right.
basically said you need to just get out there and do
Yeah,
it.
the best thing is to just get out there and do it because that's how you learn and that's how you improve. And you got to do it a lot to.
And it's also how you
Get better.
find out what you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody's going to be different.
Yeah, you got to find the limitations of the vehicle. At some point you're gonna get on a trail and be like, oh, I can't do this because my tires are too small, or I can't do this because I don't have enough clearance. I need a lift on my suspension, or I can't do this because I'm gonna wreck my truck because I don't have rock sliders, right?
Right,
And stuff like that. So you figure out what you need real quick. That's my TED Talk. Thank you.
Yeah.
I broke Phil.
We've lost Phil. Phil?
I'm still hydrating from the heat.
Hey, there's no joke here. I mean, and go figure. Here we are in Montana, and in Fahrenheit we're at 90 something. I think it's like close to 100 degrees. What is that in Canadian?
I'm not good at math. I don't know. It's probably pretty hot.
It's hot.
It says right on the screen there. It is 29 degrees Celsius and 88 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
85 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, that's what it
85
says, but
Fahrenheit, 29
I'm not
Celsius.
sure where that is. I don't think it's here.
That feels about right.
Yeah, maybe.
And you guys at least have shorts and T-shirts. I've got nothing in my bag, but I've got
You want some
puffies.
scissors? We got some scissors.
You got a puffy jacket with
I
you?
got
some
2
shorts and
puffy
a-
jackets.
Oh,
I,
Short sleeve shirt.
man.
I was worried about it being cold, versus being hot.
No,
And I've been to Montana a bunch of times. This is hot.
it's hot.
It's pretty hot. It's a good thing we got these waters.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We're running low on here. Look at that. They even got the logo on the
Yeah,
cups.
custom
So,
coffee
come
cups.
on.
It's a nice touch.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
So before you get out of here, we just want to ask you a few series of questions.
Okay.
So you're pretty experienced now. If you could go back in time and change anything, is there anything you'd do different?
Anything I'd do different in regards to?
This whole thing, and you can take it how you want. It could be about the actual wheeling. It could be about social media. It could be the combination. It could be about family life.
I don't think there's anything I'd do different because everything's worked out pretty well and everything happens for a reason, I believe. And you can only get to where you are by making mistakes. So, no.
Failing forward.
Sure, yeah.
It's amazing how we get very similar people who are actually out there doing it.
And that's the thing is we when our podcast goes off the rails, as you guys heard of talk about before, there's a lot of people that are, I don't want to call them, well, I'll just call them, they're like posers, right? They're not actually doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's I find this like as an example at Overland Expo, we talked about this where there's just rows and rows and rows of vendors with all sorts of fancy, shiny objects, let's call them. And then you get all these people that are shopping and they're going to strap this stuff on their vehicle, but they're not going to use it, right?
Yeah.
They're going to go to the mall.
For some people, it's more of like a Lego hobby, right? Like,
Yes.
you're just putting the Legos together and that's fun. And if that's what you're into, then there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, but it's funny. I think where Phil was leading is that every person that actually goes out and does it has about the same answers to the
Yes.
questions.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like we can all agree on like these are the important things. It's not necessarily this shiny thing that we strap on.
We could pretty much stop doing this podcast. Just get out there and do it. You don't need that much.
Yeah.
It's the same thing all the time.
Yeah, it's about the people. It's about what
The Jeep's just a tool.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. Maybe we need to bring on people that actually don't do it on the podcast.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a debate.
Yeah,
Do it versus don't do it.
that's right.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of them are more popular. They already got. They don't need to be on here. We need to be on there.
That's true. I mean, it's really nice when you go to you don't have to actually do the trail. All you have to do is go to the beginning of it where the sign is and take a great Instagram picture. And then
Right.
say, hey, we did this.
Right.
It's funny. I was just driving through Banff National Park on my way back from the Arctic, and as we were driving past, this nice. It's like literally like a ditch on the side of the road, but the water is like glacier blue.
Yeah.
And there's all these girls in bikinis like taking selfies, and I was like, that's so sad.
Yep.
Like that's about as fake as it gets.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion.
And then you find out that their channel has, it's 3 million.
I still love you, Instagram girls. It's all good.
Me and Mike have coined a phrase for these type of people. We call them bangers.
Bangers.
They just come in, bang, get a photo, and they're out.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Too funny.
Yeah, it's so weird. I don't understand the whole I understand wanting to have like a cool photo, but like taking a photo acting like you're doing something that you're not doing is weird. It's weird.
I think so, but I mean, I think that's more mainstream. That's unfortunately probably a lot of what we see and a lot of what we consume in the social media world.
That Instagram
right?
versus reality meme.
Yeah.
That's so accurate.
It's totally accurate. Oh my God, I love some of those where it's like, look at this beautiful shot on the right, and then the actual. Then
zoom out, and there's like 100 tourists all around.
Right.
They're walking in slow motion through the water, and
Yeah.
you zoom out, and it's like a
so
parking lot.
true. It's so true. But hey, what can I tell you?
See, we did get off the rails here, right?
Well, of course we did.
What were we talking about?
Are you going to be doing any more events in America this year?
No, not this year. Not that I know of, anyway. Okay. I have no plans to. I mean, I did Expo West and Expo P&W and this, and Easter Jeep Safari as well.
Okay.
So I'm kind of evented out. Every time I do one of these, it like takes away from doing the actual thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. It takes time. It takes money.
So it's a balance, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't come to the event, you feel like you're missing out on hanging out with your friends, but then you come to the event, you feel like you're missing out on an adventure. And
Yep. Yeah. At the end of the day, to be creative, you got to get out there and actually do it and get your mind in the right place, right?
Yeah. I think there's a world where you can get like too caught up in like doing events about the thing instead of doing the thing.
It's funny you say
go
it's
from
like
event to event, like you're on an adventure where the destination is like an expo. And
and it's funny. There's more and more people I think that do that. They drive from event to event to event,
and that's all they do.
And it's like being a rock band on tour.
Yeah. Oh, they're bringing me flowers. Thank you.
Oh wow, look
That's
at
nice.
that. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much
That's
for all the flowers.
So nice of you to bring the flowers.
Those are beautiful.
Secret.
So they just brought us some flowers for having this award-winning podcast.
There's stuff going on behind the camera. You guys can't see it.
Yeah.
But
we can.
Yeah. So what was I about? I was about to say something. It was oh boy, I don't know. What's your favorite meal to have on the road?
McDonald's.
Really?
McDonald's. Great answer.
I'm just being honest, and it's only because if I'm traveling, like coming down to something like this,
No time.
Like, there's no time to go to a restaurant. There's no time. Like I'm not stopping to cook while I'm in the middle of a 16-hour road trip.
Right.
Like, so unfortunately, McDonald's.
So let's
Actually,
flip it a
sounds
little
good
bit.
right now.
Do you have a favorite American restaurant?
Ooh, good question. Yes, I do. Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box.
Yeah, the sourdough Jack. That thing is phenomenal.
I'll be honest. I've never been to a Jack in the Box.
Well, you're missing out, man.
I'm gonna have to try it now.
So we got one that's like right kind of just across the border when I come down.
Yeah.
So it's always my first stop is to go get a sourdough Jack because we don't have Jack in the Box in Canada. It's one of the only fast food chains. Well, no, I don't think we have Carl's Jr. either.
You got
I also
Wendy's.
like Carl's
You
Jr.
got-
We got Wendy's. By the way, and so a lot of
Tim
Americans,
Hortons.
a lot of Americans don't realize this, but in Canada, A&W is top tier fast food.
Wow.
I'm about to say, A&W to me is top tier fast food down here too.
Oh, really? Yeah, because
You
I
could-
find I've been past some A&Ws here, and they look like they haven't changed since the 80s.
No, well, admittedly, yeah, I don't think they've actually upgraded or
At some
restyled the
point,
restaurant.
There was like a fork in the timeline where Canadian A&W and American A&W went on different paths.
Yep.
And now A&W is by far the best, highest quality fast food
Interesting.
in Canada. It is my top choice. In the U.S., not so much.
Yeah.
They're definitely, if I have the taste for a fast food chili dog, they're my number one choice for a chili dog.
A&W.
See, A&W in Canada doesn't even have chili dogs. In fact, I don't think Canada has chili dogs. What's a chili dog?
It's a hot dog with chili on it,
That makes
basically.
sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't. That's not really a thing in Canada.
No, they probably have poutine.
Yeah, they do.
Right? Yeah.
And
I
it's
love poutine.
fairly decent. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Sir.
Are you kidding me?
High fives. Yeah. Who doesn't like? So Brad from Trail Recon came up, and he'd never had poutine.
Really?
So I was able to give him his first poutine, and he was like, "Yeah, this is good." I was like, "Damn right."
How was the food? You
Canadian
guys
food.
went up all the way through Alaska, though, right?
No, we went to Tuktoyaktuk.
Oh, that's right. You went on the Canadian side, yeah.
Yeah,
So you did
but
the
I've been
Dempster.
asked about 100 times how my trip to Alaska was.
Yeah. People confuse it. See, I having done both, I think the Canadian side is better.
Absolutely.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it is better. It's a
haven't
more
done-
scenic. The Dempster going all the way up
Yeah.
is more scenic.
Better than the
There's
Dalton,
more-
apparently?
I think so.
By
Apparently, the
far.
Dalton ends at like an oil field or something.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
right.
so I'm gonna
you
go-
can't, and there's a fence.
I'm gonna go do that one, but
Well,
I still want to do it.
Well, just a point for the audience, if they're deciding on going to either one, you better hurry up because in about a year or two from now, both of them will be completely paved.
You think so?
Yeah. Well,
Is that actually happening?
yeah.
Really? I have not
I don't
heard
know
that.
what was going on when you went, but when I was there, they were still putting they were creating a bridge, and then on the Dalton one, they had already started the paving.
I
literally-
thought they were never going to pave it because of the permafrost, right? And it.
Right.
Well, no, it
whatever.
won't
So the
be.
Dempster is
no,
almost completely
I'm
on
not saying the
permafrost.
Yes.
whole entire thing is going to be paved, but there will be more paved
More
portions.
paved sections, yeah. So when I did it originally, the Dempster, I went to Tuck in the winter because you couldn't go in this. The road
Right, you
wasn't
had to go on
built.
the ice road.
We had to go on the ice road, exactly. So you had to go in the wintertime.
I wish I could have done that.
That was cool.
Like I was
cool.
even like the last year that it was open, I was like, man, I want to go do this, but I wasn't in a spot like financially doing
Yeah,
this where
yeah.
that trip was viable for me. And now I am in that spot, but
Yeah.
they don't have the ice road anymore.
That's right.
So
It's gone.
That's just,
Now it's just they
Yeah.
got the road there.
yeah,
Which is crazy though. People don't understand too how far it is.
it's far.
Like they just
Like
don't
just
picture
getting
it.
there was a week, you know,
Yeah.
from where I live.
Exactly.
So
You're already in
I'm already
Canada.
in Canada.
I know. Well, we had actually shipped our trucks to Edmonton and drove from Edmonton up to Tuck. And I mean, wow. People are like, oh, you're kind of going up Western Canada. It's like, well, kind of going up Western Canada is not exactly how I would
Yeah,
describe
that's not
it.
quite accurate.
Yeah,
You're
no.
kind of like not even Western Canada. Well, I guess Western Canada.
It's kind of, but
not
it's-
Western British Columbia though.
No. It's so Western British Columbia is also beautiful.
Yeah. Have you been to Haida Gwaii?
Yeah.
I'm going next month.
Are you?
For a week.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
So I'm pretty
Yeah,
excited
yeah,
for that. I'm going to take the Ram up there.
Are you?
Yeah.
Not the Jeep.
No.
You guys hear that?
Well, because it's a long trip, and I want to be comfortable.
Yeah.
Camping out of the 4-wheel camper, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
So good. I mean, you've got a big truck. so-
Yeah. No, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. There's nothing wrong with comfort.
Yeah. It's not the size; it's how you use it.
Exactly. There we go. We're off the rails again. Phil,
What's up, Phil?
how you doing over there?
You guys behave.
Okay. Sorry.
It's hard.
Apologies.
Can't-
Well, should we wrap this up? I think maybe they want their room back. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe.
tell us how people can find you who want to keep up with your story.
You can find me on YouTube, The Story Till Now, and on Instagram, The Story Till Now, and Facebook if you must.
But you don't have to.
You don't have to. I mean, let's face it, Facebook kind of sucks.
It does.
This was a last minute quick thing, so we appreciate you just rolling with the punches with us.
Dude, I appreciate sitting in this nice air-conditioned
Oh,
room for an
yeah.
hour and getting out of the heat, so no problem.
All right.
And I appreciate you having me, too.
Is there any last words any of you guys want to say?
Stay cool.
Stay cool, and we'll see you guys next week on the podcast, and we're going to enjoy another night here at the ranch.
Yeah.
All right, guys, you know what I'm going to say. Stay safe, tread lightly, and hopefully we'll see you here or on a trail soon.
You have been listening to Waypoint Overland's Random Waypoints. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.